for a long time. They knew each other a long time. Rick Foogie showed up. Now, Rick Foogie was a very special duckling. Maybe a little dirty here and there. He had a couple little stains. He also liked to... it was pretty predictable, but he liked to pee at night. But he was cool, and they were cool, and these guys, they didn't really care what was going on in the pond. You know why? Because they had fun on their own. They were just chilling, partying, having a good time. Now, with any good story, there's an overlying theme. There's a lot going on, and the waters were getting kind of choppy. You know why? Because storms were coming, things were brewing, and the weather was causing them problems. And these guys, they didn't even give a shit what was going on down here. Because they had a lot going on outside of the pond. But in the context of the pond, they were trapped, and they couldn't get out. Especially Dr. McDreamy. He's like, hey, can I get out of here? And he couldn't climb out. He's like, hey! And Rick Foogie was like, hey, dude, where are you going? And Dr. McDreamy kept trying to come out, but he couldn't.
Get to the other characters.
This is going to be like a...
Put in the floaters.
This was... So, anyway, they tried to make friends with Fennell and the other people, but they weren't really interested in...
They'll share a piece of bread now and then.
Every once in a while, they'll hang out,
back and forth.
but not a lot happens. Now, Fennell, some people really freaked her out, like Mr. Fart. Because who are we kidding? He's weird and obese. She kind of banished him and decided to never really talk to him unless absolutely necessary. Now, one day, Dr. McDreamy had a conversation with, and I didn't name it,
Scrubbica?
Scrubbica. And he tripped and fell on her and cracked some of her bristles. She's okay, though. She's fine. Now, these people, they were, these is this Rick Foogie? There were some other floaters coming around, and they were doing their own thing, and the truth is, sometimes they wanted to hang out over here, and sometimes they wanted to hang out with Dr. McDreamy and Rick Foogie. But they mainly just floated and floated around and floated around, bit by bit, just sort of doing their own things. Now, that's when the plot thickens. Oh, this crew being here first and having a strong experience, they all started hanging out. But they knew who was the boss, and they dared not cross her. Something magical happened. Something very special. Fennell started to have feelings for Dr. McDreamy. And the rest of the crew, they were like, oh, hell no, hell no. Especially Maui. He was like, no, Fennell, seriously, Fennell, let's hang out. Let's get in the hot tub. Can I give you a massage? What's up? And he was very intimidated by Dr. McDreamy because, well, Dr. McDreamy had something we call smarmy dazzle. Smarmy dazzle is not something you see very often. Nonetheless, Fennell could not keep herself from being magnetically drawn to him. So much, in fact, she occasionally do little flips. Cute little duck flips. Cute little duck flips. And Dr. McDreamy had a theory that one time he was about to leave the pond, and he was almost on his way out, against his buddy Ace, and Fennell dragged him back in because she wasn't quite done with him yet. She was just getting started, in fact. He was almost out. Rick Foogie couldn't help. He was at the edge, and Fennell said, Dr. McDreamy, I'm not quite done with you yet. Right back into the game. Now, this brings us to modern day. That's just the history in the past. Sorry, the pond's getting a little cold for the narrator. In a second here. And there's a lot of side stories, like Rick Foogie is strongly considering having a showmance with Scrubbica. Or I am. Really depending on where Mr. Fart decides to sleep tonight. Could have a lot of determination of that.